Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Josh Walker, one of the top fighters from Fury FC. Hello, Josh. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Josh, you had, I think, that very good performance against this very tough opponent who might be on the losing streak, but overall is a very good fighter. So, if you can tell me how many weeks did you have to prepare, and overall, what do you think about your performance?
I had an 8-week training camp, and I think I did a good job, but there's always things to improve on. Obviously, mistakes were made. Um, and yeah, I'm just right now, I don't really try to look I'm not really thinking about that fight. My eyes are never looking backwards or to the side. I'm always looking forward to the next thing and the next challenge. So that's already behind me, and yeah, I'm already back in the gym, just looking to improve. I'm actually about to start training camp right now.
And your first six wins were came by decision, and last two came by knockout. So what changed in your game that you right now you are like finishing everyone?
It was just mostly my mindset going in and my mindset training. I'm actually training and going to fights with bad intentions. I'm just a lot more confident in my skills, and I'm just now that like I I proved that I'm a good fighter. Now it's just time to the next stage in my career where I show I'm the best fighter. I just like I something about me, like the decisions, like I was just kind of just in there just winning. That's all I care about. It was just simply winning. I didn't care about finishing nobody, and I really never really tried to finish anybody, but my mindset's changed. Like I'm going to finish every fight, and I'm going to make everything definitive. There's no question in the air about who won or who's the better fighter. No arguments to be made. Everything I do, every performance, I just want them written in stone. Like definitive. I am the best. I was a better man that day, and that's it. That's what it is.
And when you are knocking your opponents out, there is no question that you are a better fighter on the night.
Yes, and they're just like yeah. Also, it's just not like it's not. They're not like just going out there and quickly knocking them out. I'm actually setting up, putting on a master class performance leading up to those moments. So this all the more satisfying.
And also, I think that watching your career from the beginning, right now you are probably in the best like shape of your career. Also, because the level of opposition is a very high level. It's not like O and O guys or like fighters that are solid but not great. But you are defeating and knocking out very good opposition. So I think that it also can give you some additional confidence.
Yeah, it definitely does give me more confidence, knowing that I'm beating quality opponents in a very one of the best regional promotions. I would say just not in the United States, in the world. As far as regional promotions go, Fury has top level talent, and if you're not in the UFC, that's where you want to be. You want to be in Fury, you want to be in LFA, you want to be Cage Warriors. You want to be in those big regionals to really get your skill set up to par, get you ready for those big moments and the bigger shows like the UFC, One, Bellator, PFL.
You fought for in the flyweight division for a while, and right now you are again a bantamweight. And do you plan to stay as the bantamweight, or maybe you think about going down to flyweight one more time?
Um, I think uh I think I'm not completely done, and I'm not gonna rule it out at flyweight. It's just it has to be something, it has to be worth it. It's definitely not the easiest weight cut in the world for me. So, you know, it has to be high risk, high reward, something on the table for me to put my body through that much pain.
And you were scheduled for fighting for the title, flyweight title this year, right? Against Trujillo.
Yes, I was scheduled to fight him. I unfortunately, I had bad timing with my weight cut, and I just took it on the chin, and now I'm just moving forward. That's all I can do. I can't really dwell on that in the past. It was a mistake. I learned from it, and I'm better now, and I can handle my weight and uh the timing of my weight cut a little bit better now. It was valuable. I'm glad that happened at this point in my career than fighting for a world title in the UFC. So there was some good that came of it.
And right now, flyweight champion is Paris Moran, the fighter who you faced as the amateur. So I think that if you decided to go down, I think that it would be a fight to make.
Yeah, that would I think that would be the fight to make if I moved down and was still in Fury. I think Paris is a very skilled fighter, but that was the amateurs. And that's history at this point. I guess he has my feather on his hat, you know, and eventually down the line, if I move back down to flyweight, I'll get it back.
So the fight may happen in Fury FC or maybe in like 1 or 2 years in the UFC.
Yeah, I think things would be more interesting in the UFC, honestly. It'd be a fight to sell, be some history behind it. And I know he's one of those guys that I'm gonna wake up thinking about every day, till I get in the cage with him.
And let's talk about your beginnings in the sport in MMA. Did you have any additional background, like wrestling background, before going to MMA?
Yes, I had a wrestling background. I wrestled for a little bit in college, and yeah, wrestling was my passion for a long time. But I got the only reason I got into wrestling is because I knew I wanted to be a fighter for MMA. I saw John Jones when I was like a kid in middle school, and I figured out uh, he wrestled before, so that made me want to do it. And I eventually like fell in love with wrestling, but it all came full circle back in the sport of MMA.
Yes, wrestling
So
is probably the best base to start MMA. So I think if you have this background, you are like starting not from the beginning, but from the, let's say, level one.
from wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah, I think wrestling definitely is the best base because you can control what the fight is. If you like to strike, you can defend takedowns. If you like to be on the ground, you can get the fight on the ground with your wrestling. So wrestling is probably, I think, the most powerful tool in MMA. This ability to dictate the story of the fight and the way it plays out. And not to mention, wrestlers are amazing athletes. You can teach a wrestler to do anything. You can't teach a kickboxer to do anything. You can't teach a jiu-jitsu guy to do anything. You have to be so much more of a higher level athlete to have wrestled than any of those other sports, in my opinion.
And what is main gym that you are right now training in?
I'm training at Ward Training Center in Houston, Texas.
Is it a gym that Trevin Giles is training in?
Yes, we have a few fighters that are in the UFC. We have Trevin Giles and we have Zach Reese. He just won his Contender Series fight. He's in the UFC now. He just got signed. We have Rain Guerrero coming off the Contender Series. Um, yeah, and we got a lot of people that are coming up and making names for themselves. We have some super like my team is full of savages like through and through from the amateurs all the way to the pros. We have some dogs in the room, very high
So
level.
so I think that it's great, like growing together because Zachary Reese won on Contender Series. So right now he's also a like rising prospect. So you can like grow together as a team.
Yeah, we're definitely growing together as a team. The team, from not only from a fighter's perspective, but the coaches are getting better. It's been the same duo with Adam Copley and Jeremy Mahone. Both those guys have grown as coaches just as much as we've grown as fighters, and the the energy is just amazing in the room. Everybody's motivated and everybody is getting after it. We're all just we can train and compete at a high level, and we're just having fun doing what we love. So I love my team. I love my coaches. They're the reason why I'm here. Why I'm here today.
And what do you think is like one thing, one area of MMA that you think that you have to like improve the most?
Uh, I think I could be a lot more athletic and a lot more strong. So right now I'm just not the most athletic guy and I'm not the strongest guy. And I think that's one thing I can improve my athleticism and always can get better IQ. I think the smarter man's gonna win at the end. If you're smarter and you're more conditioned, I think your chances are to win are much higher.
And if you are thinking about like next few months, what would be a perfect scenario for you?
Next few months, a perfect scenario would be uh Nike calls me. They're like, hey, we got like 50 million for you. You want to be our first Nike sponsored MMA fighter on the main page? I'm gonna be like, yeah. Then maybe like I get bitten by a radioactive spider. I get Spider-Man powers, and UFC calls me. Perfect scenario. 50 million superpowers and the UFC contract would be a perfect scenario for me.
Yes, if you have a superpower, you will be unbeatable in the UFC against anyone. So
Exactly. That's what has to happen in that order.
and if the like Bellator or PFL or one any other of this big organization, but not the UFC, would contact you and would love you to have you in one of this promotion, would you be interested in going there, or you prefer to wait a little bit longer to be signed to the UFC?
Right now, from what I'm hearing and seeing, Bellator is about to be shut down and sold. Uh, and PFL one and all those other promotions. I want to be the best fighter in the world. Like I want my fights to be definitive. I want to be definitively the best fighter in the world when I win a world title. So I would have to wait until I get the UFC. The other promotions, yeah, they have good fighters, but it's just not the skill level of the UFC roster. And then yeah, the overall platform of the UFC is just it's a lot bigger. Like like you can ask like out of 10 people, random people on the street, maybe a few of them will know what the UFC is, or most of them will know what the UFC is. Ask random woman at a grocery store, you ever seen ONE FC? You never no. Nobody's heard of that shit. Nobody's heard of the PFL. Maybe some people know Bellator, but that's only people that kind of watch MMA. But yeah, everybody knows what the UFC is. Yeah,
Yes,
that's the only place where you can win an actual world title, in my opinion.
yes, UFC is such a like big brand, and like you said, the Bellator or PFL, even like for the like people who love MMA, it's like a very known organization. But for the ordinary people who don't usually watch MMA fights, it's like not so popular. So I agree, but I think that also there are some great fighters in Bellator. Unfortunately, PFL.
Absolutely.
Actually don't have either flyweight or bantamweight division, but maybe if the like there will be a merge, PFL and Bellator, they will do a bantamweight and flyweights because the this weight classes need to be there, I think.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I agree. Uh, they do they could do a merger and create a better division for the lower weights over there, but it's not the case right now. And PFL has weird rules with no elbowing and during the season or something like that. Come on, you can't do that. I love my elbows.
Yes, yes. It's because the like they have like two or three fights in like very short time. But I think that the elbows is such a big weapon in MMA that right now it has to be there. It's like you can't like throw a jab or something like this.
Yeah, you know. So I agree. Um yeah, just the other promotions are just not where they need to be. And that's part of, in my opinion, that's part of the UFC's fault. They have like such a monopoly over the game that it's hard for other promotions to grow or be um as successful. So UFC pretty much writes the rules.
And do you like to watch a UFC, especially a bantamweight division, the division that you currently are fighting in?
Honestly, the only time I really watch UFC is when I somebody I know is fighting, or it's like a big card. It has to be like, Conor McGregor, the Habib, Sean O'Malley. It has to be like a super card with some super crazy fights, or like Trevin is fighting one of the local UFC fighters I know. Like it has to be like Matt Schnell, Alex Morano, some of those guys fighting for me to tune in and support. But other than that, like I really, unless I know somebody on the card, I don't really watch it. Unless I just go out and I'm just going out or just at the house, just getting fucked up with my friends, and we're just watching some violence on the TV. You know what I mean? It's always a good time. But I watch it for film study, but that's it in my free time.
And do you have a
I'll study
fighter?
search.
Do you have a fighter that you like studying to analyze his moves, his like behavior in the cage?
It just depends on like how my fight camp is going and what style I need to like create. Like I watch pretty much everybody. There's so many people in the UFC that just uh do a good job. Like I'll just go on YouTube and watch UFC bantamweight or UFC flyweight division, or I'll watch just like as many, if I'm like for my last fight I was watching just a bunch of just random things of just southpaws, orthodox versus southpaw fights, no matter from the UFC, the regional promotions, boxing, kickboxing. I was just watching happy southpaws, you know what I mean?
And your nickname in MMA it's Snow. If you can
Yeah.
like elaborate a little bit, why
Um
people call
it,
you Snow?
it's like a pun from Dragon Ball, because there's like Lord Frieza, King Cold, uh Cooler, Frost, and then you know, Snow, me.
So if you have like free time, do you like to watch Dragon Ball or other like anime thing, or you prefer to do something else when you are a little bit more free?
I watch a lot of other animes actually. I watch all sorts of animes. I like gaming. I like to edit videos, and yeah, I like watching anime, gaming, and editing videos in my free time. Just those are just things that are very fun for me, and they keep my mind focused. When I'm going through a lot throughout these fight camps, I can just have fun and relax and do those things.
It's good to have a thing that can take the stress out of your head, that you can be like focused and not think about fighting or training camp.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you have like few hours to the fight, and there is also a stressful situation, do you have any like uh, uh, any like option to like not thinking about fight? Do you like
Oh,
watching anime
uh,
in this point, or you prefer to be focused on something else?
Oh, on my fight days, I just treat it like a normal day. Like I don't think about when I'm going. I don't think or pressure myself when I'm going into my sparring on Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? Or like a sparring session or a training session. I just go there feeling good. I just treat it like a normal routine day. Meditate a little bit, think about what I'm going to do, and try to execute it to the best of my ability. I just like to go in there with a clear mind, and yeah, just go out there and just do my thing like a normal day. It's not a big deal though. I even fight just like it's like I'm sparring, just chill.
And do you have a daily routine in training camp, like that you have a training session at this time, this time, or it's like changing from day to day?
Oh, it's I structure my days really. I'm really disciplined about structuring the way I do things throughout the whole training camp. Like I don't it's not day to day to day to day, but it'll be like for 3 weeks I'm gonna stick to this schedule. For the next 2 weeks I'm gonna do this. For the next 2 weeks I'm gonna do this. So it's just yeah, I do have like a little bit of a schedule I like to stick to actually.
And I have one last question to our conversation. Do you have a
Yes,
bucket
sir.
list that, or you can share one of the things from your bucket list, that the list that you would like to, the things to like to do before the end?
Repeat your question one more time, sir.
Uh, do you have a bucket list, and do you can you share one of the things from there, the list of things that you would like to do?
From you said a bag of tricks,
A bucket list.
a
The
bucket list.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. One thing that I like to do, um, let me think about this. I actually would like to learn how to fly a plane, be a pilot. That'd be really cool. One day before it's all said and done, just be able to fly a plane. That'd be awesome for me.
So it may happen when you have a Nike deal for 50
Yeah, that's
million.
why. Yeah, I need the 50 million with the Nike deal. Yeah, I need superpowers, and the UFC can call me.
Okay, Josh. So many thanks for the conversation. I hope that we can see you in the cage soon, and next year we also can like witness your fights in the UFC, because I think that at this point your place should be there.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate you from reaching out from all the way across the world. That means a lot. That to see other people from other countries loving taking notice and loving to watch me compete is awesome. So thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. Um, until next time, I guess.